That's hard. All right, look. Let's hit that one. You don't gotta worry about no names or nothing popping up, all right?
Just the camera?
Yeah, just the camera. Wait till the music stops. Let me share it. Unmute the mics when it's there. When it's ready, all right? I am. CMPRadio.net. Yeah, we're back. Hopefully we stay on live this time. I apologize. I do. I'm trying to. I don't know what's going on this year. But we are back and we are talking about unspoken resentment. Do you have any unspoken resentment?
I used to have some, but
Right.
I feel like I've addressed it all for the most part.
Like,
I don't hold things back. I say how I feel.
you
I
say
say
what's
it
on
with my
your mind.
chest.
You definitely do, right? You know how to avoid it.
How to avoid resentment?
Yeah, unspoken resentment. Turn the mics down, son. Yeah.
Well, being honest about how I feel and not really caring if people don't necessarily want to hear what I have to say. But I don't want to carry resentment, so if I need to say something, I'm going to say it.
Earlier we were talking about trying to get over an argument, right? When is a good time to talk? You said.
Well, the two people got to come together and figure it out. It's not based off of one person's comfort zone. That's the thing, finding that middle ground.
Okay. Finding that middle ground.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that, waiting for the perfect moment to bring up whatever you're resenting is detrimental. You feel me? The perfect moment.
Who said perfect though?
I'm just saying, people wait for the perfect time to talk about what they're resenting, what they're upset about. I'm not going to bring that up because we got bills to pay. I'm not going to bring that up because his mom is sick. I'm not going to bring that up because her mom is sick. I'm not going to talk about this because we're dealing with the kids, right? That's not the perfect time to have this conversation. Do you know how long in time that could be before we really sit down and have a meaningful conversation?
Well, what can I say? You don't want the person to shut down on you either. If you try to force a conversation with somebody that's not ready, then you have to worry about them just completely just avoiding it.
Is there love in this house? Yeah, there should be.
No, I don't know.
What you mean you don't
I don't know.
Like,
It depends on the household.
I don't want to put people in that kind of household. I want to say there is love in the house, whatever house they're in,
Okay.
right? Whatever house they're sharing.
Okay.
There is love in the house.
Okay.
And so they need to talk. Right? Let's put love in their house. Right? Let's say there's love in the house and they love each other.
Okay.
And it's not a bad situation.
Okay.
It's a situation, right? We broke one down. I said I made reservations for 7:30. I thought they were 8:30.
Okay.
We went back. We were yelling in the car. They were yelling in the
Okay.
car because we don't want to put each other.
Yeah.
And it just kept on going, right?
Okay.
When is the perfect time for us to talk? If there's love in the house, I say in the car.
You have to check the temperature of the person that
I
you're
already
with.
apologized. The woman was more mad at the man because he got the times mixed up, right? She was upset. She wanted to go out. She's been trying to go out. She finally got a night out. You
Okay.
feel me? And that the restaurant couldn't seat them
Okay.
because other people had reservations and they didn't have any, walk-in times.
Mm-hmm.
So she was upset.
Okay.
What's a perfect time for her to bring up or to say anything to him if he's already apologized, which means he's open to the conversation?
This goes about knowing your person. So
Right.
you got to know your person. If you've been living with this person or dating this person for a long time, it's about knowing them. Because it's like, you don't know. If it's a fresh relationship, you don't know. But, if you have history, just got to go by, like, play it by ear.
I'll say in the car. If it's the other way around and she made a mistake, a simple mistake, I can't allow that mistake to linger on, right? And
You can't.
I'm speaking from me handling a situation. I can't speak for someone else. I don't live in someone else's head. I don't live in someone else's world. I live in my world, right? So I have been doing this for a while. So I can speak from it. Immediately, we need to have that conversation. Immediately, not tomorrow, not next week. We need to talk. We need to squash this.
Because that makes you comfortable.
No, because I feel like that will make both of us comfortable. Because I love you. I work with love. I don't work with attitude. I don't work with bad energy. I don't want anything to linger on past now. And my partner should know this about me.
Well, all I keep on hearing you say is you, when it's the we. So if that person.
You just said, I'm not having a conversation until the other person is ready.
Right.
That was you saying that, not we.
So it should be we instead of you or I.
Right.
We, whoever we, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They.
Us, we, okay. Whenever they say they're ready.
Whenever they say they're ready.
But it's the other person, it's not you.
Well, maybe y'all should have some type of.
Too many people to talk. Let's have this conversation. I'm sorry, I apologize for not getting the time right at the restaurant. It's not, I'm not blaming it on being super busy, but I am super busy. I'm trying to work, right? I'm apologizing from my heart, right? And you said earlier, people be, what? They be fake apologizing?
Yeah, fake apologies.
How do you know it's fake?
You
can
can't feel vibes, energy. I'm big on energy and vibes.
I've never felt vibes off of an apology.
You ever got somebody that gave you a apology that's real?
There's also a saying, right? And I know you know this saying. Forgiveness is not for who?
It's for you, not the other person.
So if it's for me, I don't give a fuck if your apology is real. You can't say forgiveness is for me and not for you, and I'm worried about I forgave you without you having to apologize. I don't need to hear that you're sorry. You need to what? See that they're sorry.
Right.
Right.
Change behavior.
Right. So I'll forgive you until you show me you haven't really changed. That's how I view it. Now tell me how you view it.
Can you repeat that again?
Oh man. You're not listening to me. Anyway, what happens when you feel unheard, unseen, and unappreciated? Expectations aren't met, and instead of talking about it, you internalize it. This disappointment turns into quiet anger.
I know about that. I know about quiet anger. That quiet anger becomes not quiet, it becomes roaring.
No, past relationships, you've dealt with people who like to explode all over the place. Yell, fuss, scream, holler. And then when they get to that point where they're not saying anything, and we're not saying anything to each other, how do we heal that, right? If we're not saying anything, we don't know what we want. If you're not willing to come to me and say, I didn't like when you did this, or I'm waiting for you to come and talk to me, I don't know if you want to hear it.
But that goes back to like our earlier episodes with the attachment styles. So based off of the person's attachment styles, they might be people that like hold their feelings in, unavoidant, and they got all this stuff boiling over that they want to say, but they don't have the tools to say it.
That's right. I get that. I guess, I don't want it to seem like my apologies are not genuine when they are, right? So, you know, I like to, if I messed up, I like to apologize immediately. I'm sorry. That wasn't my intention. You feel me? But how people take things is how I could do something to A and B, but B don't get that mad and A is pissed off.
So you're proving a point for me. So everybody is different. So you may want to just resolve it and yeah, let's apologize, let's get this, whatever. But A might be like, okay, cool. But B might be like, I need some time to process it. Thank you for your apology, but I need to marinate on it. And it doesn't mean that you were wrong for apologizing, but you can't always expect immediate gratification. Oh, it's handled, it's finished because I did this. That's not always how it works.
My end is finished, because what else will that person ask me for?
If I'm talking about as far as the communication piece, you want to communicate with someone and they're not ready to communicate. You think, oh, I apologize. We should be able to talk. Yeah, the person heard your apology, but that don't mean they want to talk to you right then and there when you want to talk. And you have to be okay with that, because there may be a time where you feel the same way, somebody do something to you and they apologize to you and you like, I forgive you. There's no beef. However, right now I'm not in a position to talk to you, but let's double back. I will talk to you, but just not today. So I'm trying to shift the perspective of it, like it has to be immediate, like, oh, it has to happen right now. Sometimes it's not going to happen right, Johnny, on the spot. That sounds like control. Like I'm driving this ship. But if you're in a relationship with anyone, romantically or platonically, it takes two people to
play a part.
Right.
One person directs the ship, the other person hoists the mainsail. Yeah, no?
I have no comment.
Why you don't got no comment? We both got to do a job.
Yeah, we both have to do a job, but sometimes you may be captain, and sometimes the other person might be captain. You got to go by a person's strengths. And sometimes we get so caught up in like gender roles. It's like, this person's supposed to be this because they're a man. This person's supposed to be this because they're a woman. But what are your strengths? What do you bring to the table? Like, because there's certain things that you may know how to do that you're like, oh, if you're a female, you should know how to do it. You might be stronger in that area. And vice versa. Gender roles sometimes have had people, yeah, that's another conversation for another day.
Gender roles is definitely a conversation for another day. Listen, I just feel like you need to be clear about your needs and expectations from the beginning. Right? What you want to see, how you want to view things, how you want to talk about things from the beginning of a relationship. We're talking about, you don't know a person until you have your first argument. You don't know a person until you have your first disagreement. So before we have our first disagreement, let's talk about this, right? We will not go longer than 3 hours without talking to each other. We will not leave and go into another room and think we're gonna sit in that room all day and not talk to each other. Meanwhile, you're talking to everyone else.
But guess what? Right. If you've established that at the beginning, like that was something that you discussed in the beginning, that's fine to me. But if you just like, that wasn't discussed and now all of a sudden, well, we gotta talk. Nah, we didn't, that wasn't established.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying that. Now that I understand, establish it in the beginning. So while we talked about this last time, when you're dating a person, you ask questions that let you know whether you should continue to date.
Absolutely.
Once you start really dating that person and you start,
Because you have
sleeping naked in
non-negotiables.
the bed.
You have non-negotiables.
we should talk about arguments. So when we have our first argument, and we will, because that's just what we do. We're two people trying to live together, right? We're gonna have disagreements. We're gonna have arguments. You're gonna get mad. I'm gonna get mad. I'm gonna get frustrated. This is how we avoid unspoken resentment. Is by talking and working it out. I don't want you to go into another room. I don't want you to run away. I don't want you to be anywhere. And maybe that's where I was coming from when I said, you feel me? Like, this is what we'll do to get over it because I'm sorry. And I mean it. I didn't mean to mess up the time that we were supposed to go eat dinner. And this is your first night having out. And I wanted to take you out. I wanted to be nice, right? I messed up. Right? So a man saying he messed up, that's big. Because you ain't going to find too many men that's going to tell you, yeah, I fucked that.
If they're emotionally intelligent, that's yeah.
There aren't a lot of emotionally intelligent men.
Why aren't they?
I don't know. I'm not going to say there are because if it was, we wouldn't have all the problems that we have in society now. We wouldn't. And I'm not lying. We would not have all the issues, all the back and forth, all the blames and the accusations if we had a bunch of emotionally intelligent men.
But I always go back. I said this a couple of episodes back. We attract at the level of our self-esteem
absolutely.
and our vibration. So it's like I'm a firm believer of that. I don't know if you believe that.
What?
If you are someone that is a low frequency person, you most likely that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get what you get what you get.
You get what you get and you don't have a fit. And if you believe that that's what you're gonna get, you're gonna continue to get that.
Absolutely.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the environment that we're in currently. Yes, you can go outside. Somebody told me, you keep getting the same woman because you're looking for something inside of them that's not really there. So you're fishing in the same lake, right? So you need to go downstream some, right? Or you need to hop in your boat and take a nice little ride out to the ocean, right? And catch a shark, right? And I agreed.
Okay.
Right? I said, okay, yeah, I see that. But when you broke it down earlier, you're used to grabbing something. There's something about these women that gets you in that situation.
Yeah.
Where you're comfortable.
Yeah.
Right? So you need to be uncomfortable.
Yes, absolutely.
I agree with you 100%. But what I'm saying is there's not enough emotionally intelligent men, right, out there to make sure people are safe in their choosing and picking, just like it's not enough emotionally intelligent women to make sure. So you're actually fishing, and you might be there for a couple of years with your pole in the water looking for this person, and
But we don't have to look. Sometimes it's about
they
attracting.
find you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. You gotta have the right. You gotta have the right bait. Right.
What? Yeah, absolutely.
Make sure you have the right bait. What's the cost of not speaking up? How do you think that affects you? Not speaking up, having resentment, and just being quiet.
That it physiologically could affect you. Like you could be stressed out, irritated, detached. It's a lot of negative emotions comes from not like expressing, your feelings.
You begin to disconnect emotionally.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Intimacy fades, or like you said, it's dry.
Yep.
So, communication feels forced or non-existent.
Yep.
You feel more like roommates than partners. Resentment turns into bitterness.
And bitterness, man, that's not a good thing to have.
It's not. It's not. So you have to prioritize regular conversations. Right? I'm big on let's talk about it. I don't want no one to think I was always like this because I wasn't. Right? I was big on running from it, and I ain't worried about it, and holding resentment in, and being bitter, right? And intimacy fading and doing whatever I was doing. So all of this is new information for me, right? And understanding it This is where emotional intelligence comes from. How can I add this to my life? Why do I want to add this to my life? What doors will be open for me by adding this to my life and trying to find.
If you want a healthy relationship with anybody, it starts with you being healthy, like you being healthy. It all begins with you. Sometimes people be looking for stuff outside of themselves where they need to look within themselves first.
It's in you.
It's in you.
Trust me. If something is bothering you for more than 24 hours, speak on it. I don't even like going a day like that drives me crazy. If you can't talk to me for a day and we in a relationship, we ain't in a relationship. You cannot have a conversation like I don't got nothing. Somebody needs to make that make sense to me. Why should I give you 24 hours for a conversation?
If you're asking, if somebody's like asking, hey, I need some time to.
No, not asking, just not talking.
Oh, well then that's a whole nother issue.
Again, we didn't have that conversation in the beginning. When I get mad, I shut down. You feel me?
Right.
Again, maybe I didn't know or she didn't know. I'm not putting this on anybody. I'm just saying, right? She doesn't really know her love language. She doesn't really know, her attachment style.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Like, she hasn't done her homework. Do you believe that people should do their homework before they date?
I feel like they should do it before they date and before they have sex. Because guess what? Sex can complicate things. And it's like, okay, you're not thinking with your head, you're thinking with lust. So if you don't iron out those things before, it's like, man, it could be trouble.
Trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Trouble.
So talk about your non-negotiables before you lay down with somebody. Talk about the things that you desire. Talk about everything, your pet peeves, all that stuff before you hit that bed. Because that might determine if you want to get in a bed with that person. Because you might be like, oh, after I had this conversation with this person, I don't even think I want to, you might look good, but I don't even think I want to make that move because you going to be a headache. You going to bring stress in my life.
I wish there were men that thought like that.
Well,
like, I do.
You got to have discipline to think like that.
Yeah, discipline is real. Right? Discipline is definitely real. But, it just doesn't always apply. I get how it sounds. I do, and it does. It sounds wonderful, right? And I think if I would have been taught this at a younger age, then I would understand it a little bit better.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? But there was nobody that understood any of that.
But now you have an awareness now.
Yeah, now I have an awareness, and like I said, now I understand it. But I'm talking about I'm judging my life backwards. I'm looking at it like when I was back there doing all that crazy stuff. I wish I would have known this stuff. I didn't. Now, with me at 45, I know all this stuff, and I'm trying to implement it in my life. And I don't have no problem with throwing up boundaries, and I don't have no problem with understanding my attachment style, and I don't have no problem with having a connection but not being attached to a person. Like, I understand all that, right? And now with this, I know that when I'm talking to somebody in the beginning, let's say, listen, imagine we got into an argument. How long do you need to come back and talk to me? Because I can't do any more than 5 hours. Oh, I need 12. All right, well, it's not going to work.
And that's okay. That's okay, though. You weeding people out. Because the worst thing you do, you sleep with somebody and then you feel like, I don't even like them. That's the worst.
That's the best. You ain't got to call her tomorrow. Where my bell at? I'm sorry. I apologize. I do. Listen, it's just being that toxic. It feels so good.
Well, you trying to raise your frequency. You trying to.
What was that Swamp Thing? Who was that? Wasn't it a cartoon back in the day where he just? That was on Captain Planet.
I remember
the Captain Pollution. They had to throw the pollution on him to make him. You feel me? Yeah, I love toxicity.
And every time you say something toxic, I'm going to counter it. Every single time.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Every single time.
You might change the name of this show. Yeah. Toxic, non-toxic.
Oh, gosh.
Nah, it's real though. Like it just, I don't know what
It's your higher self fighting with your old self. It's like a battle.
Mm.
That's all it is.
Mm.
You battling. That higher self is there. It's in you.
It's in me.
But you still got some things. We all got stuff we got to work
Yeah,
through.
yeah. Well, I just like to let people know they're not alone in fighting this and understanding this. I'm not speaking from a person that understands all of this stuff. I'm speaking from a person that's applying it and trying to understand it. I got a book the other day, The Ways of a Superior Man, right? I started reading that,
Okay.
right? So, trying to understand business and lust and sex and all that good stuff, right? Because, yeah, for me, it was just that. Just that thing. You feel me? So, and people say I don't value it, right? And I kind of don't, because I know how easy you can get it. And that was the issue. When I was younger, it was right there in my face.
What did I say? Quality over quantity, and that might not have registered with you.
Yeah, but when you put a bag on, it all feels the same.
I'm scratching my head.
I know you are. That's younger me. But that's just how it goes, man. Like, when you have.
Do you feel different now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I said this.
Okay.
I said this now. I'm not that person anymore, right? But I know how he feels, right? Because I am still him. I just don't do what him did.
Okay.
You feel me?
Okay.
Him change.
Him change. All right.
Him change a lot.
Okay.
You feel me? Like.
Okay.
Him understand.
Okay.
You feel me? But it gets hard sometimes, right? When you know how easy it is. You feel me? Everybody doesn't want the same thing.
Absolutely.
You feel me? So I get that. But we're talking about resentment, hidden resentment, unspoken resentment, how to fix it, how to change your relationship, how to talk to your partner in a way that they understand. And like we were talking about earlier, people are different. No one is the same, right? So you got to talk about your differences. You got to talk about where your boundaries are, the types of things that you like, the types of things that you don't like. And don't be confrontational. Don't be looking to have an argument while you're trying to work through, you feel me, what you're working through. Okay? Look to have a conversation. What they call it? What's the board with all the lunch meat and fruit on it?
Starts with a C.
The charcuterie board.
Yeah, whatever.
Get a charcuterie board, sit down, talk, get some wine, have a conversation, maybe rub her feet. You feel me? She don't want to rub no man feet. You feel me? Like, but if she wants to, pass her your foot, she can rub on that. And let's talk to each other. Let's have a conversation where we can understand what we need to do, how we need to make this relationship work. If it's a relationship that you want to work. Because a lot of people, they might just be there for the after party.
Touche.
Right? Touche. You shut down, you tell yourself it's not worth it, or they won't understand. You lose your voice in the relationship and start feeling invisible, or worse, replaceable. Why people stay silent? How to avoid it? Build emotional safety by agreeing to respond with compassion, not defensiveness. Remind yourself that your feelings matter. And make space for both voices to be heard equally in the relationship. These are the things that we don't do. We don't give each other space and time to talk. You ever had a man saying something to you and you just cut him off in the middle?
I used to be a very emasculating woman.
Oh, talk about that. How did you define yourself as an emasculating woman?
I used to emasculate men.
You did that on purpose?
Sometimes.
Why?
Because if I felt like you were not doing your part, or I felt like you disrespected me, so I was going to do my big one and get you back.
Big one.
Yeah.
What's a big one?
I used to tear people down. I just wrote a Facebook post about it, and I'm not proud of it, but I was someone who was very, like, not to speak up, like that hidden resentment.
Mm-hmm.
So when I finally did get my voice,
boom!
Yeah. But I'm not that person anymore. Yeah, I need 2 claps.
Yeah, you didn't clap for me when I said I'm not that person anymore. You was like, yes, you are. She's looking at me. Yes, you are. You can't fake no more, P. I get it now. Nah, but no, that's real, right? When you're with someone who doesn't allow you to speak, who constantly cuts you off, who constantly feels as though, her way is the best way, right? And it's like, we're not in this competition. We're not competing against each other. If anything, we're supposed to be driving each other to be better. Mm-hmm. And right now, when you emasculate a man, do you know what you were actually doing now?
I have an idea. But again, all I'm going to say is that was from years of not using my voice. So again, there's no excuses, but I know where it came from.
Okay. Years of not using your voice. Unspoken resentment. How do you avoid unspoken resentment?
Speak your feelings. Say it with your chest.
Speak up early. Don't let things simmer. A calm convo earlier can save blow-ups later. Oh, the Zoom isn't on. Good brother. Cut the Zoom on. The Zoom on the side. The Zoom. On the side of your hand.
I understand.
Yeah. Oh, the whole time the Zoom wasn't on? Thank you, Leslie. I appreciate it. You probably sound a mess. Yeah. Create a safe space for honesty. Like, how does that? What would be a safe space for you for honesty? We have to create a cave in the car or something like that. Like, we got to go talk in the car.
No, it's just on how my mood is. Don't try to force me to talk if I don't want to talk.
Well, we know that already. She says she needs 24 hours before she'll even talk about what happened. I'm just joking. You didn't say 24 hours, but her mood has to be there. So how can someone get your mood there to have this conversation?
Being non-confrontational. If you come barking me like, I want to talk right now, you want to get the finger or worse.
When you say barking, like, is he, yo, I want to talk, or is he like, yo, can we talk? Like, is that still too masculine to come?
You can, no, that's fine.
How's he supposed to come to you? Can he come as a man, or?
He has to come as a man because he's a man.
Right. So if he comes to you and he says, we need to talk, would you see that as a bad thing? Like, nigga, don't be talking to me like that.
Tone is everything.
So what's the tone he should take?
A very mild
Should he talk
tone.
like this?
Mild tone, calm tone.
So he should come to you talking like this, low?
Yeah, that would help.
Right. These are all the things you should write down in your, I just met you and I need you to know this is what I need. Because when you say this to a man, when you say your tone triggers me, and you're like, how am I supposed to talk? You can't tell him your tone triggers me. You got to say, listen, I need you to come in a very low tone, right? And we can have a conversation. Because if he don't know, he just coming in, yo, what's up? And you like, don't be talking to me like that. Now you triggered. Now you just triggered him. Now we got a whole nother argument on top of the argument that we're trying to talk about.
But I don't even attract people like that. So it's like most people that I would talk to are like mild, chill, laid back. So I won't even have that problem.
Okay. All right. Other people might have it. So talk about it. Is that Ray? No, that's not Ray. That's that's our good engineer. right? You got to schedule weekly check-ins. Make emotional maintenance a habit, not a reaction to chaos. You agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm looking here. I statements is important too. Like owning your feelings. Yeah,
So it's okay to say I now.
yeah.
You just told me it wasn't okay to say I. So when is it okay to say I and not okay to say I? Because they boundaries, so I need to know, right? So
When you're talking about your feelings, I am upset. I like
Okay.
when you're expressing your feelings.
Right.
But when it comes to like communication and like trying to work through an issue, it's not about I. It's about
we.
yeah.
Okay.
We, yes.
All right. Okay. You gotta let people know, because everybody doesn't.
Active listening. Oh, this is important.
Boy,
Listen to understand, not to respond.
everybody listens to respond.
Man.
Everybody wants to defend themselves. Nobody wants to listen to your problems. Everybody, the whole time they listen, I can't wait till he take a breath. I'm gonna crush him.
And that's toxic.
Is it?
So that's toxic.
Is it? But again, we say toxic, not in a way to make people feel bad. Is there another word we can use? Because I don't like toxic. I say misinformed. Right? Let's say that. Let's say they're misinformed. They haven't done their test. They haven't gone on their walk yet. It took a while.
It look like a duck and it quack like it's a duck.
Come on.
You gotta call a thing a thing. If you doing stuff that's like negative like that, ready to bark at somebody when they're just trying to talk to you, then that is toxic.
I don't want to get.
And that shows you have probably a history of being in situations where you always gotta defend yourself. So you just carrying on that same cycle. Gotta call a thing. You gotta be able to call it out. How do you heal it if you can't even acknowledge it? We say you can't heal what you don't reveal, right? So if it's toxic, it's toxic. If it look like a duck and quack like a duck, it's
But they can change it.
Absolutely.
So they're uninformed.
Okay.
I say uninformed.
All right,
I just don't like the toxic situation, because people take that and make it a popular word, and now I'm toxic. You feel me? Like, I'm toxic. Instead of saying I'm uninformed. You know how dumb you sound if you get up there and say I'm uninformed? You understand what I'm saying? And it's right there for you. You can look it up, as opposed to saying I'm toxic. People will call that label out on themselves and run around with it.
Or maybe emotionally and unintelligent. I don't know.
I'm just emotionally uninformed. There's a lot of things I didn't know. There's a lot of things my therapist helped me understand. There's a lot of things that I rolled over. It's like I had one of them rollers and just rolled over somebody's fence.
Wow.
Yeah. I was tripping. But that's life. And that's why you should get help if you need it. You should absolutely. Therapy or counseling is not a weakness. It's wisdom. And you have to, you got to search it out. You got to look for it.
Can I read this?
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is a quote to reflect on. Resentment is like drinking poison and hoping the other person gets sick.
Boy.
You can't fix what you won't face. Silence protects resentment, but truth protects love.
So me wanting to talk to you is truth. And I'm protecting love. But this is what we talked about from the beginning of our relationship. So it's nothing that my partner wouldn't understand. It's nothing that the person that I want to share my life with and share everything else I have with wouldn't understand, because we had this conversation from the beginning. And I don't care how nobody feels. These are the conversations that I want everyone to have with their partner. Today, tomorrow, next week, had a conversation. Let's talk about when you're upset and you have unspoken resentment for anything that I've done, and you allow that to build up. What happens when you explode? What happens when you're speaking because you're upset or you're hurt? You should never speak from a place of hurt, right? So if you got to heal yourself, if you got to go to therapy, you can't
hear what you don't reveal.
You can't heal what you don't reveal. You can't change. I don't know. I'll figure that out later.
So we got to start with sturdy foundations from the beginning. So all these things that we talked about is about like building a sturdy foundation. Because sometimes we have a real effed up foundation, and then we trying to like get it together when we already in the mud of it. We already in the thick of it. Not saying things can't be fixed, but if you start off strong with the sturdy foundation first, certain things you won't be dealing with.
Yes.
And that can be in a romantic relationship or a platonic relationship.
Boy.
Start that foundation strong. Talk about your non-negotiables. Have those uncomfortable conversations. Like, the more you have, the better.
I got a couple non-negotiables.
And you got to stay 10 toes down. Like, stick to them. If that's, you don't want that, hey, don't accept it. Period. What?
I was just thinking about a couple of my non-negotiables. Like, that's unspoken resentment doesn't disappear; it multiplies. But healing starts with honesty. Love doesn't die from loud arguments; it dies from quiet neglect. So let's be real. Let's be vulnerable. Let's talk, so we don't tear each other apart. Because at the end of the day, it's not about being right. It's about being heard. It's about being understood and being loved. That's all I got. You got anything else you want to add?
I hope some of y'all decide to come up here and join me one day.
Oh, she's scared. She
I want
like
to have some conversations where it's just not me on here and P. Like, I would love to have some company, so I would love some people to come up here and chit chat.
sounds dope. We're trying to get some people to come up here, so the moment you can, let us know. You can hit us up at info@cmpradio.net, or you can call my phone 484-802-2383. Somebody said, "Man, why you always give me your phone number?" Call. Can have a conversation. I don't run from conversations. I've had the same number for 15 years. Crazy.
I also want to say thank y'all for those who engaged in the chat and the conversation. We had
Absolutely.
a few technical difficulties, but people was commenting, and I really I enjoy reading the comments. I want to have more dialogue with the audience.
I'll come on there and talk to you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would love that.
Absolutely. CMPRadio.net. This is Uncomfortable Conversations with Uncle P and Drea B. We want to thank you guys for tuning in and sticking with us. I know we were in and out, but we do this every Tuesday.
Yep.
We say 7:30.
Yep.
We'll pick a time. You want rock, paper, scissors for the time? Okay. What you got? Scissors. No. Hold on. What time do you have?
7.
All right. You ready? 1, 2, 3. So you said scissors. Oh, my fault. 1, 2, 3. So I beat you. Okay. So we're going to go 7:30. Okay. Catch us here every Tuesday, 7:30 on cmpradio.net. And you can catch us on Live 365. We will be live on Live 365. As soon as I find the wire, we moved, right? So, as soon as I find the wire that plugs up into the computer. I want y'all to have a good night. Remember, talk to your partner, but talk to them in a way that you want somebody to talk to you.
Yes, do that.
Right? You don't have to know how they like to hear things, but you know how you like to hear things. So that's it. CMPRadio.net. Engineer, get us out of here, man. Give me the music. Kill the microphone.